Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for another Free Your Mind Friday. I'm Dr. Napasha Gettings, and today we're going to move forward in our discussion regarding emotional intelligence. For those of you who watched the video last week, you'll remember that we talked about very crucial skills that are necessary in order to raise our EQ, and those 4 skills include self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. So in order to move further in our discussion, I want us to start to look at very specific emotions and how they affect our 12 biological systems. If you haven't familiarized yourself with the 12 biological systems, please do take a look at the website clarionconscience.com, where you will find a video that explains our 12 biological systems. We're going to cover this mind-body connection because it's very crucial in maintaining health and wellness. So today I want us to take a look at anger. I entitled this video, "My Anger Afflicted Me," because a lot of individuals unfortunately experience disease and illness within the body because they spend too much time in certain emotional states that are unhealthy. Now, sometimes we will call certain emotions positive or negative, but the truth is every emotion that we possess serves its own unique purpose in our life. Anger, as a matter of fact, is an emotion that can be very protective and help us in situations of danger or when we're faced with a perceived threat or potential harm. Because anger is a vital part of our survival and our existence, it has very unique effects on our 12 biological systems. So today we're going to look at our immune system, our central nervous system, our cardiovascular system, and our endocrine system. So let's start first with the endocrine system. Our endocrine system is also known as our hormone system. And when we experience anger, we see immediate changes in the hormones produced in the body. One hormone, cortisol, and also another chemical known as adrenaline, which are made in our adrenal glands, respond almost instantly when we experience the emotion of anger. Their job is to help us have more strength and energy in the event that we are facing. It's our natural fight or flight response. So if we're put in a situation where we have to fight or flee, obviously we're going to need adrenaline, we're going to need cortisol levels to be increased as well, which help release more sugar into the blood and also fat. So again, our body intelligence is designed to respond to our needs in that situation. But over time, if we experience anger chronically, you're walking around with high levels of adrenaline and cortisol, which is very damaging to the body. And one of the biological systems that is damaged when we walk around in states of chronic anger is our immune system. This is why people who struggle with anger and aggressive outbursts and chronic agitation are also more susceptible to infections and other diseases. So being aware of how often you're in an angered state is very crucial to ensuring your overall health and longevity in this life. Another system that is heavily affected by our emotional states, specifically the emotion of anger, is our central nervous system. So we know that our central nervous system houses the brain and all of our nerves, and we know it's the receiving station. Our central nervous system also is directly linked to our cardiovascular system. So when we experience the emotion of anger, we have an increase in our heart rate, which again theoretically makes sense, because if you are in a situation where you have to fight or flee in an effort to save your life, if there's a perceived threat, one thing that you're going to depend on is adequate blood flow to get to all parts of your body. As a matter of fact, when we experience the emotion of anger, our body is so intelligent that it takes our blood flow away from areas where it's not needed at that time, like say for instance our digestive system, and sends it to areas where it is needed, like our muscular system. So people who struggle with chronic anger states also struggle with digestive issues as well. One of the most common ones is constipation, because you just can't have good bowel function when your body is constantly in the tense state of anger and agitation. There was actually a study done by the School of Public Health at Harvard that found that people who have explosive, aggressive, angry outbursts, the first 2 hours following these outbursts are at an increased risk for not only a stroke, but also a heart attack. So I'm coming to you to talk to you about increasing your EQ and making sure that you're aware of how much time that you're spending in an angry state. Part of increasing our self-awareness requires observation and mindfulness. And when we are more mindful of our emotional states and how we express certain emotions that are innate, we can make changes for the better and ensure our long-term mental health and mental wellness. I shared with everyone that I grew up in a home with chronic domestic violence and, of course, chronic anger. And when you are in that type of environment and it's modeled for you that anger is something that you can carry with you every day and no one is teaching you that it's such an unhealthy emotion to have on all the time, it becomes a natural part of your existence. And so I work with a lot of families where unfortunately the display of anger is way too often. And I work with a lot of individuals who are easily angered by things that they face throughout their day-to-day. Something as simple as traffic or receiving emails or voicemails, things that trigger us on a daily basis and get us so enraged that we're not even aware that that's how we're responding to our day-to-day. What I really want is for people to understand that we are emotional feeling beings, and we shouldn't suppress our emotions, nor should we express them in unhealthy ways that are damaging to other people. Some of us tend to think that when we are experiencing anger, we're punishing the other person, when in fact it's us ourselves that are punished by this emotion. Anger causes inflammation in the body. It can cause chronic pain syndromes. And if we are not equipped to understand the entire mechanism by which emotions affect our body, then we can't make changes for the better. I want us to become experts at talking about emotions and understanding how they serve us well and how they can also hinder our improvement and our journey to wellness. I want everyone to be aware that, again, our emotions serve a purpose, but it's almost like misusing something that you naturally possess. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be that person that is chronically struggling with anger. As a matter of fact, there are 4 major ways that most people tend to express anger. There's the passive aggressive, there's the explosive, there's the chronic kind of smoldering, always looking for a situation to be upset with or to express anger towards. And lastly, there's the more planned anger, which is more about control. So I want you all to think about that. Think about how often do you get angry? And what's causing you to be angry? And what are you doing to your body and your mind when you let that emotion wreak havoc on not only yourself, but your loved ones? A lot of times people who struggle with anger ruin relationships. They ruin relationships with their family, work relationships. Sometimes it's challenging for them to keep positions because they're unable to control that emotion and self-manage in a way that's appropriate, healthy, and useful. So if you know someone who can benefit from this message, make sure you pass it along. Make sure you continue to join me every Friday for more information related to mental health and mental wellness. It's my passion. It's my goal, my desire to bring information to everyone so that we can help remove the stigma from talking about emotional well-being. This should be no secret. I personally believe that this information should be taught in schools. I think that if we learn more and understand more about how our mind and body work together, we will be more motivated to take care of it. I don't want anyone to wake up one day and realize that a chronic emotional state that they've struggled with has now led to disease and illness in the body. We're energetic beings. One psychologist said that our emotions should be able to flow in a healthy way, and when we don't express them in healthy ways, it's like throwing rocks in a stream. We become clogged up, backed up. So be comfortable with talking about your emotions. Be comfortable with addressing unhealthy emotional states in your life and in your family. Make sure that you motivate yourself to eradicate generations of poor emotional functioning. And make sure you join me next Friday as we continue to explore ways to raise our EQ. Please visit clarionconscious.com for more information, more videos. I also offer consultations for anyone who just want some information and guidance towards steps that they could take to help maintaining their own wellness. Thank you for joining me. Please follow me on social media, Napasha T. Gettings, MD. And as always, be well.